Citizen, I'm warning. Your presence is interfering with Imperial business. Be gone.
You're dead. Of this.
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield, sister. An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors. We are brothers and sisters in honor. And we show up to solve problems if the coin is good enough. Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Codlac Whitemane up in your Vaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people. He can look in your eyes and tell your worth. If you go to him, good luck.
Come to chat with an old... Do your good deed for the day.
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Never is.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only. Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle.
Isolde, was it?
Men are all
brings you
alike,
to the
from
market?
Skyrim to Hammer. Pretty cool, I suppose you don't need to worry about that.
Lady, could you spare a coin?
Reshape this land, which is mine.
They say Helgen got hit by a dragon.
Oh, thank you. Divines, bless your kind heart. It's what Brennan said I should do. He's the only one that's been nice to me since Mama. Since she died. My aunt and uncle took over our farm and threw me out. Said I wasn't good for anything. I wound up here, but I don't know what to do. I miss her so much. Until next time.
Brigands I can handle, but this talk of dragons?
Flesh to rule the realm.
Don't think you can barter with me like one of those damned...
What would you have me do then? Nothing?
My lord,
What's the meaning of this interruption?
This is no time for
Jarl
rash
Balgruuf
action.
is not
I just
receiving
think we need
visitors.
more information before we act.
As House Carl, my
Who's
job
this
is to
then?
deal with all dangers that threaten the Jarl or his people. So you have my attention. Now explain yourself. You know about Helgen? The Jarl will want to speak to you personally. Approach.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes? Really? You're certainly forthright about your criminal past. But it's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute. Especially now. What I want to know is, what exactly happened at Helgen? I should have guessed Ulfric would be mixed up in this. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls? Against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If
The
that
Jarl of
dragon is lurking in the
will
mountains...
view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
Now where is it? It takes a while to make it dress, Jackie. You have to be patient. But I don't want to be. I want it dressed right now. Father promised. All you ever do is complain about what you want. You're a spoiled baby. I'm going to tell Father you said that. He'll tan your hide for sure.
Farengar, I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill her in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself. An old tomb built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there. Well, must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources. Ah, student of the craft. You'll need to start by learning an enchantment. Take an enchanted weapon or piece of armor, then use the arcane enchanter to learn its secrets. The item is destroyed in the process, so be wary. Once you know an enchantment, you'll need a filled soul gem and something to enchant. You'll use the arcane enchanter for that too. Of course, I have everything you need for sale if you have the coin. I'm not surprised you've never heard of it. Even I used to think it was just a myth. But not anymore. The Dragon War was a real event, although only the barest glimmer of the actual events has come down to us. Far back in the Mythic era, the dragons were worshipped as gods in Skyrim. Many of the monumental ruins that still dot the landscape were in fact built as temples to the dragons. The details are lost, but at some point, the Nords rebelled. After a long and terrible war, the Nords overthrew their dragon overlords. Oh no, many were killed, of course, but many survived into historical times. Why, this very palace was built by one of Balgruf's ancestors to hold a captive dragon. Hence its name, Dragon's Reach. I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this. I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task. Sadly, no. My work affords me few opportunities for such an adventure. Perhaps some hero will bring one to Dragon's Reach, like old Olaf one I once did. What a fascinating conversation that would be. If I said that was a tedious question, would you be smart enough to know what I meant? Probably not. As long as I'm left alone to pursue my research, I don't care who gives the orders. Now, I'm a busy man, and your pointless questions are boring me terribly. Good day.
This is a priority now. Anything we can use to fight this dragon, or dragons, we need it quickly, before it's too late.
Of course, Jarl Balgruf. You seem to have found me an able assistant. I'm sure she will prove most useful.
Succeed at this, and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in your debt.
I know your family's honor is
Men are all alike, from
but we
Skyrim
can't
to
afford it.
It took me weeks to find that thieves' den.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravans, I'm going to buy the bannered mare from Hulda. Before my ma and Da passed, I told them that one day, I'd become the best trader in Skyrim. I met one of the caravan leaders, Madran. He said he'd help me get started if I could bring him a mammoth's tusk. Easier said than done. You'd do that? If you find one, I could teach you a thing or two about trading. Help you get a fair bargain in the future? About the same as everyone else? They're the catfolk of Elsewhere.
Great warriors, good traders. Way I hear it, elsewhere ain't nothing like Skyrim. It's got tropical forests and dusty badlands. It sounds awful. Yeah, these Khajiit make a living traveling the roads and selling their wares. It's got to be tough. Skyrim's a hard enough land when you've got a roof over your head. Worst thing is, nobody wants them in the cities. Nobody trusts them. Matter of fact, I do. They've been fair enough with me, far as I can tell, and a Nord knows a liar when she sees one. Farewell.
Anything you like. You look rather pale. Could be... Ah, splendid, splendid. It's for a special brew I'm working on. A love elixir like none other. Maybe I'll test it on Farengar first. Oh, but I suppose you expect some compensation. Here. These potions should suffice. Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Foolish old woman. You know nothing. Nothing of our struggles, our suffering.
Nothing. And what of my son, What of Thorald? Is he nothing? So don't talk to me about suffering.
Your son chose his side and he chose poorly, and now he's gone. Such is the way of war. The sooner you accept his loss, the better.
I will never accept his death. My son still lives, I feel it in my heart. So tell me, Battleborns, where is he? Where are you holding my Thorald?
There might be a bowl of hot stew in it.
Do you believe this old hag? Holding him? Why, I've got him in my cellar. He's my prisoner. Face it, coward. Your stupid son is dead. He died a storm-cloaked traitor. And you best keep your mouth shut before you suffer the same.
Come on, Father. There's nothing more to be said here.
All I can think about is my son, my Thorald. They say that he was killed, but I know better. I know my son is alive. Those Battleborn, they're in with the Imperials. They know it too, and yet they lie to my very face.
And why shouldn't I? Just because I'm a Grey Maid doesn't mean
I just know it. I can feel it in my heart. You have to believe me. Please visit me at my home. I can tell you the whole story.
Chops and steaks fit for a Jarl. Come and see my selection.
Let me guess. They're saying it's because of this trouble with the storm.
Do you get to the cloud often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Yes, Housecarl. We'll leave him.